Hi beauties, welcome back to our channel. So I have another exciting video that I'm sitting down to film today. Before I get into that, there's a few things that I want to address. The Jeffree Star beauty box, I believe it was the deluxe version of that. We are still waiting to hit 500. I know that we're at 300, which is incredibly amazing to both me and mom, but we're still trying to get that, trying to reach that point. Once we do, we will be giving that box away still. I do have the Becky G ColourPop collection that is going in a giveaway. I know I asked before if you wanted a large giveaway for one person to win or mini small ones, so I think what we'll do, the overall consensus, is mini small ones. So that'll also be going in a giveaway. Once we meet 500 as a quota, then we'll start a new giveaway with the Becky G collection. We also have the Northern Lights collection, some Urban Decay stuff, and then we also have the mini velour liquid lipsticks from Jeffree Star. I believe that was the Nudes Volume 2. So I wanted to give you an update on that. One thing that I learned that I did not know, if you are subscribed to any channel, not just mine, but just anyone, and a smaller YouTuber like myself, I'll just make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. So now that we got all of that out of the way, let's get back to why we're actually here today, why I'm sitting down filming. A couple of weeks ago, I want to say before Christmas, me and mom sat down and we did a huge BH Cosmetics haul. And in that haul, there was a few palettes that were requested. One of them that were requested was the Desert Oasis palette. And I think when I actually start filming this, I'm going to turn the ring light down because it's kind of really badly reflecting and giving a glare. So what I wanted to do is talk about this palette, what it contains, how much product, do an actual eye look, do some swatches, and then we will go from there. So if you do want to hear more about this palette and the look that I create, please keep on watching, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell down below. And then I'll also link the BH Cosmetics haul somewhere up here in this region if you want to see that video as well. Okay beauties, so here is the Desert Oasis palette. I did turn down that ring light too. I'm not sure if you're still getting a glare. I hope not. But here's the front of the unit carton, and then here's the back of the unit carton. It does look like you get 19 color shadows and a highlighting palette. Total net weight is 1.4 ounces or 40 grams. It says, bask in the splendors of exotic beauties with the Desert Oasis 19 shadow highlighter palette. This essential mix of velvety rich pigment is buttery matte and shimmery finish, plus 5 luminous highlighters let you create endless looks that capture the essence of radiant sands and vivid night skies. That's a beautiful little part that they put on the back of the unicorn. And then here's the front of it again, and the back. And then it also does look like you have a 12-month shelf life, and it is cruelty free. There's a cute little bunny right there. So go ahead and open her up. You do get a huge mirror that does come with this. And then inside, these are all the colors. I believe right here, this section is all 5 of your highlighters palettes. And again, this is from BH Cosmetics. I'll link the price down below, but just roughly, I want to say it's around maybe not more than 15 bucks. So it's really not that expensive, and especially for what you're getting, the quantity, the quality. I think that's a pretty good bang for your buck, or your coin, however you want to phrase that. So here's the highlighter section. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Serenity, Bliss, Mirage, Antupa, and Hideaway. So those are all 5 of the highlighters. And then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 matte shades, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shimmers and glitters. So I think what we'll do now is I'm going to go through and I'm going to swatch all of these on my arm just so you can see what they look like, the pigmentation, the quality, if they're patchy, things like that. And then once we do that, we'll jump into a look that I want to create with this palette. Okay beauty, so here's an up close look at all the shimmers. I put those all on top from the palette. It looks like you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then again the 5 mattes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here are all the highlighters. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I did notice about these shadows as I was swatching them, they are very buttery. buttery. However, there is kickback in the pan, so be advised to that. I had a little bit of trouble with the matte shades. Just a little bit, a lot of kickback actually, not a little bit, with the matte shades. You can see, especially that middle kind of, I want to say, kind of like an off-white. You can barely see it. It's more of like a transition shade, and then this very last really deep brown. It's almost like a brown black. You can see that it is very patchy. That's what I can see from just swatching them, touching them, and playing with them, but I actually want to see what they look like on my eyes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up to start applying eyeshadow to my lid. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to actually start applying the matte shade to the lids. I did go ahead and already prime my eyes. I use the ColourPop No Filter, and this is in shade Feral 41814. I got this a few weeks ago, and I have been using it non-stop. So it is really, really good, especially for under the eyes, and it's like a concealer base for eyeshadow on your lids. I'm going to scoot you in a little bit closer just so you can see how these shadows blend out, the pigmentation. If I have to go back in for a second pass through, I'll definitely mention that as well. So now that we're up close and personal, I am going to be using the, oh gosh, the numbers and the name is starting to rub off. I've used these so much. JH30, the Jaclyn Hill X Morphe brushes. And I think I want to start with a sand color just to set down a little bit of a base to the lid, because it is really that off-white color. So we're going to go ahead and put that there, and I think I might actually use that. I'm not for certain right now, but I think I might actually use that as a brow bone highlight as well. Okay, so let's get that set on the lid, just to set down any shadow so you can have an even blending area on our lid. Okay, so the next color I think I want to go into is this beautiful warm tone orange, and it is called Sandstone. And I'm going to use that same brush. I believe it's JH30. I'm just going to pick it up here. Just bounce my brush back and forth. You see, I'm not doing too much of actual like roughing through the pan. I'm just kind of tapping it in there. You can see the follow that is on there, but you can see the brush is fully coated as well. Okay, so I'm going to start here and just start applying that shadow to my transition shade. I start with a tapping technique, and then I slowly blend inward once I like the pigmentation, just so that I get the most pigmentation on the outer part of the eye instead of the inner portion of the eye, which can make you seem more tired, more sleepy, which this technique makes you look more awake, and it doesn't drag down the eye. So I'm going to start to blend that color inwards. Again, this is just a transition shade, so we don't want it to be too over the top or too dark. But I'm blending that right in between my lid and then right underneath my brow bone. So it's not going up into the brow, just right underneath that natural bone shape. I'm going to go ahead and do that to this eye. I think I want to do one eye on camera, and then I'll do the other one off camera, just so we can speed this video up and it's not 45 minutes long. Okay, so I'm going to set this one aside. I'm still going to use her because we go back and forth with shades quite frequently. And I think I'm going to use the JH37. It's kind of a packer brush, and it's the same Morphe Jaclyn Hill. It's pretty much going to be the same in all videos, just so you know, until I'm done being obsessed. So, but I will, you know, just continue, because I know there's new people who watch the videos all the time, so I will continue to keep mentioning what types of brush I'm using as well. Alright, so the next shade I'm going to use, and this is called Cannon. It's this really taupey, warm brown. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. This is called Cannon, and you can see the kickback that's actually in the pan. Look at that. And I'm barely touching it. We're going to tap off the excess. Now, I know that these are like 14, 15 bucks, but I also want to make sure that I'm explaining in depthly what you are buying for. You know, understand that, you know, that is 15 bucks, but there is kickback. You're paying for what you get. But, you know, just be advised to, I want to make sure you're seeing everything, and I'm giving a full review of it as well. Okay, so I just took that shade, not as high as I took, what is that called, Sandstone. It's still above the lid and in the crease, just not as high as Sandstone, so it's right here, and I start with that packing motion like I do with everything. I think I pretty much do that with everything except for when I highlight the brow bone or when I'm doing like a lid shade. So we just want to give it a little bit more pop, a little bit in depth. So I just want to darken up this area a little bit. Don't take it as high. So I'm just going to blend that back and forth until I'm okay with the pigmentation and the blend on it. Okay, so that looks nice and beautiful. I'm going to go back with a clean, well, it's the same brush that I used, but there's no product on it, the JH30, and I'm just going to further make sure that these shadows blend together beautifully. Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, so now here's the tough part. I want to use a shimmer shade, but there's so many beautiful ones. I don't know which one to choose. I could always go with like my personal favorites. I would usually go for like the pinks and the champagnes and the gold, but I want to try something outside of my comfort zone. So I think I'm going to go more in this region. I'm usually not a fan of the shimmery reds. I don't know why, or those kind of orangey shimmeries. I think maybe we should give it a whirl. So I think I'm going to use the Heat Haze as my lid shade, and I want to try using it on the lid without without spraying it first, just to see what type of opacity and pigmentation that we get, and if we need to we can always go back and spray it. So let me look for a flat lid brush. Okay, so I'm going to use the JH42, and it looks like this. It's just a small lid brush. And again, this is a dry brush. It is not wet at this point. And we're going to go in, make sure you can get that on camera. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to go swipe, swipe, swipe. You can see a little bit of the fallout. It's not as bad as the mattes. And it did coat the brush quite well. Let's start applying that to the lid and see what type of... Okay, so it is showing up a little bit, but it's not as opaque as I want. So I think I am going to grab my setting spray. Okay, so I'm back. I grabbed my setting spray. I'm going to use the ColourPop All-Star. And we're going to spritz our brush, the same brush. I believe it's JH42. So I look at it again. Okay, so now that's nice and soaked. Let's go ahead and use the Heat Haze again and see what type of pigmentation that we get. Okay, so it's more coated on that brush. You can see that. And then let's start applying this to the lid. Ooh, way better. Look at that. It's actually really pretty. Stepping out of my comfort zone, using the reds. I feel like red is really better used as a matte shade. I'm trying very hard to grasp the fact that it can also be a shimmery red as well. I just think with the red in my skin and the pink in my skin, it doesn't go that well, but who knows? You never know unless you try it, right? Yeah, it's really pretty. Let's try with my finger too. Yeah, that's really, really pretty. Okay. So, I think for this too, what I want to do is I want to put a lighter color right in the center just to further lighten it up. And I think I'll use that same shimmer shade to highlight the inner corner as well. I think that might bring this a little bit more 3D. I think gold and red always usually go good together, so I think I'm going to use the Moonscape. This one right here. Ooh, look at that. Okay, yes. And this is just my finger. It's not wet. I'm just tapping that in the center, right in between the Caution and the Heat Haze that we have on the lid. And I'm taking it a little bit higher into my crease. Yeah, that's pretty. I really like that. Okay, so I'm going to wet my brush again, and we're going to get some of that Moonscape, honestly, because I think my finger's too big for the inner corner. Okay, so I spritzed that. We're going to get some more Moonscape. We're going to apply that right in the inner corner. Ooh, that's pretty. Try to blend that out. Now that is what, let's see if it makes any difference for us. Yeah, I think my finger did a good job just applying that center shade. And I want to darken it up just a little bit, so I'm going to grab a smaller brush. It's kind of like a dome brush. It's a little bit more of a fatter pencil shape. And I am going to dip into the darkest matte in here. And this is called Nightscape. Just going to tap my brush in there. And we are going to use that right on the outer V. So I start to create a V shape. This is literally all I do. I create a V shape here, so I drag it outward and upward, and then I drag the V in this way, just like that. So it's nice and low, but also right on the lid and a little bit in the crease. So I'm not getting too crazy with that. And I am now going to blend her out. So I'm going to use the same packing brush that I use for Caution, and I'm going to just blend this guy out a little bit. Again, this is called Nightscape. Really pretty, actually. Blend a little bit onto the actual lid, into the crease, back and forth motions, keeping it nice and high up there, so we're not dragging the eye down with a darker shade. And everything's blending together beautifully. So far, so good. Okay, that's actually really, really pretty. Alright, so then I think what we're going to do, just to make sure everything is seamlessly blended in with each other, we don't have anything harsh lines or anything standing out, we're going to dip back into Caution, tap off the excess right in the center of that crease. We're just going to blend back and forth again, right above that Nightscape shade that we just applied. And then we're going to get our fluffy brush, again, the JH30. Now I know it by heart. And we're going to dip back into no, not sand. We're going to dip back into sandstone. That's why I got confused. Okay, even though clearly one is orange and the other one's an off-white. Up all night studying again. Alright, so we're going to go a little bit higher up here, just making sure everything is fully blended out. And I'm just making circular motions right above that Caution. Alright, so now we're going to highlight the brow bone, and I'm going to use the other side of that small, dense, kind of, I don't know how you would, I was flat brush? Maybe we can say flat brush. That's the JH42. I don't know the actual fancy lingo and terms for these brushes, though. We're going to dip into sand. We're going to do it on the dry side of the same brush that we use for the lid. I'm just going to go right around and highlight that. Okay, so that's literally all I'm gonna do for this look. I think it's very beautiful. Kind of has thrown me like a hot desert sun vibe, or Iron Man. I'm a huge fan of Iron Man. I actually have a huge crush on him, so it's giving me Iron Man vibes. Okay, so I am going to use, for eyeliner, I am going to use the Stila. I believe it's called Intense Black, and I'm gonna line my bottom lash line, and I'm going to do very good to focus in the mirror and not block you, because I have a hard time applying liner and talking at the same time. It requires intense focus. Okay, so there's the liner for that. And then I'm gonna grab my mascara, if I can ever find it. It's in my, I have my makeup bag sitting next to me, which probably is not the best way of doing things, but keeps everything organized for me, but then you see me digging around in it on camera. So I found it. This is the Troublemaker by Urban Decay. I want to say I got this on sale during Black Friday. I think for like 15 bucks, which I believe they originally go for 20, 21, 22, somewhere around that range. Alright, so I'm just going to coat my lashes back and forth. Okay, so that's nice and coated. We will work on the bottom lower lash line as well. So I think I'm going to take the pencil brush. This is also a Morphe brush as well, but I don't have any numbers on them, or maybe they rubbed off. I apologize for that. I'm going to use the Sandstone nice and coated there. Tap off some of the excess, and then we're going to start to build from the outer portion of our eye underneath and build inward. Okay, so there's that. And then I want to take the caution and go right underneath that and just blend back and forth with the same brush to about, not this part of the eye. I want to leave that completely blank. So I'm thinking about putting a shimmer down there. Okay, so then we have the nightscape, and I'm gonna kind of put this above those two shades in the waterline. And roll my eyeball around so it's nice and set. Okay, so then we're gonna use the JH57. Is it 57? 37, excuse me. And we're just gonna blend everything out so we have a nice seamless blend. There we go. Gives it more of a smokier feel to it. And then again with the 42, I am going to pick up that beautiful Moonscape gold shade. Oh my gosh. And now drop the palette. Alright, so there's the Moonscape, and we're going to place that right here. I like that so far. Okay, so I'm going to jump off camera, do the other eye, pop some lashes on both sets of the eyes, and I will be right back for the final thoughts. Okay, so I have both eyes done. I did some more work with the bottom lash line, darkened up the inner water line, and then threw on some lashes, so they are complete. I forgot to mention before we jump into our final thoughts. They do have 5 highlighters in there, like we've talked about 100 times in this video, but I forgot. So I do want to throw on some highlighter from this palette. This is the JH09, the highlighter brush. And we have this whole section right here to work with. I think for me personally, I want to mix a little bit of Bliss, this yellowy gold, and then a little bit of Serenity, this pinky gold. See what that looks like on the cheeks. Okay, so it is blinding. Very shimmery. Love it. Look at that. That is really beautiful. Okay, so let's do it on the other side. That is really beautiful. And then I like to highlight right here in the center of my forehead, just where the light would actually reflect naturally. And then right here, and the Cupid's bow. And then we're gonna do down the nose, and a little boop right there. Ooh, let's take a little bit of this, put it right there. Ooh, okay, yep, that's pretty. Okay, so final thoughts on the palette itself. I really personally do like the palette itself. I do feel like the matte shades, even though some of them were patchy during swatching, and that's why we can't rely on them completely, they did blend very well on the eyes. I did not notice any patchiness on the eyes. I just want to tone that down a tad as we're talking. The highlighters are very blingy. The shimmer shades, blingy, are very opaque, very in your face, like a highlighter that I personally like is. As far as the shimmers and the glitters, I felt like they did actually go on very nicely. They did need a little bit of spray, but I don't think that was too terrible. I really haven't used a palette just in the recent maybe a year and a half now that I haven't had a spray with the shimmer, so keep that in mind when you're purchasing it. Like I said, I will link the actual price on where to buy this palette. I'm not affiliated with them, just so that you have ease of, you know, if you like something in my video, you can go and find it. I do not earn a commission as of right now. I have no code, none of that. So this is just honest thoughts and honest reviews. That's something that I really want to be a staple on my channel with my mom, so just keep that in mind. Don't forget to subscribe. If you are subscribed, turn on your notifications. We have a bunch of giveaways, as I mentioned in the beginning. I bought a bunch of other stuff coming as well, so there's gonna be a ton of stuff that we're giving away on this channel. I know that's, you know, kind of a fear. Are they actually giving stuff away? No, on this channel we are legit giving things away if we do meet our goals, and you guys are being so supportive and so kind, and Honestly, without you, there is no us. So yes, there will be giveaways. We have tons of fun videos. I know another palette that was requested was the Take Me Back to Brazil, which we'll be sitting down filming. I got some Urban Decay stuff that came. Also sneak peek. I know they came out in maybe October, but I'm just getting mine now, or just opening mine now. It's the large chocolate bar from Revolution Makeup. So I think they used to be called Makeup Revolution, but I think now they're called Revolution Makeup. I apologize if that's incorrect. Let me know in the comments below. But that's coming, so it's another fun video. Let me know if you do like something like a palette. So like I mentioned, we have Becky G, the Jeffree Star Northern Lights, the Volume 2 nudes, and then so that's one kind of section of the giveaway, which we can break it down or make a huge giveaway. That really hasn't been decided, and then we have that other giveaway for Jeffree Star, the mystery box. But let me know if you do like a palette, you know, as we're doing these reviews and things like that, because if you do, I will run out and purchase more of them. I think that's a more effective way than just throwing things in a giveaway that I don't know what people are gonna like. So if you do like something, let me know. We will run out and purchase them and start to kind of gather more of a giveaway as well, just so that we're actually doing reviews on things you like, and then actually giving things to you that you would like and appreciate. And again, if we do review something and we don't like it, we're not going to recommend it or give it to you in a giveaway. So that's enough said on that. Again, thank you for your support, and because mom's not here, I'll say it for her, but stay beautiful and stay sexy, and I hope to see you in the next one.